Let us begin. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. It's good to see you all. Um, Welcome to the Denton Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Adam Briggle. I use he, him pronouns, and it's wonderful to see you all this morning. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and I'd like you to know that whatever your reason, whatever your worldview or spiritual tradition, your age, your race, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, financial means, physical ability, political affiliation, or immigration status, you are welcome here, and it's great to see you all. If you're a newcomer, please fill out an online visitor information card to connect with us, or if you're here, you can see in the seat pocket there's a card for you. Each week, children ages 0 to 3, if there are any here, are welcome in the sanctuary or in the nursery through that door in the fellowship hall. Children ages 4 through 5th grade are invited to join the Explorers group by signing in at the welcome wagon in the back there, and they will be invited into the room later in the service. Youth 6th through 12th grade are invited to remain here in the service. Okay, a few announcements today. Today, after the service, the best thing to do is grab a quick cup of coffee and then come back here, because Tyler, where's Tyler? He's going to give, Tyler will be here. Our treasurer is going to give a budget update, and that would be great if people could come and listen to that. So that's going to be about 11:15 right back here. After that, there's going to be a social justice meeting, correct? Also through this door. C. Kobe probably could help you out on that one. Another announcement, Thanksgiving is coming up, if you haven't realized. Last year, it was really cool that a group of us got together at Doof for a Friendsgiving, and our board wants to do that again. Unfortunately, all the board members are out of town or doing something. So we are asking if anybody is interested and willing taking the lead in organizing another Friendsgiving. It could be quite simple, actually, and I think some of us could somebody could probably open the building for you, so it may not be too much of an ask, but if you are able to do that, it'd be wonderful. You can talk to Tyler, who's going to be giving the presentation, or talk to me about that, and hopefully we can arrange that, because I think that's meaningful. One more announcement. Sunday, November 30th, please join us after the service for our annual, traditional, and very fun hanging of the greens here. Everybody's welcome as we trim the Christmas tree, hang up our greenery, and make the sanctuary festive for the holidays. Okay. Today, we welcome Donna Robinson to the pulpit. Donna is retired from a career in public education, where she worked in the field of career technical education. She loves spending time with her children and grandchildren. She's a lifelong history buff who enjoys traveling and journaling about her experiences. Also is into Celtic knots, we discovered. She is the author of Tools in the Flower Pot, From Wife to Widow and Out the Other Side. Thank you for being here. Okay, now let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
We come into this sacred space, this hallowed hour, made sacred by our presence and intention here. We come with deep gratitude for everyday blessings, for the dependable changing of the seasons as they follow one another, for smiles and waves and spoken greetings, for being with others in worship, for babies and puppies and kittens, and for the wisdom of old, everyday blessings that sustain us every day. I now invite Dana to light our chalice. We light this chalice in honor of the memories that hold and heal us, for stories we tell of those whose heroism inspires our own, for the pictures of loved ones who have passed, in whose images we see our better selves, for the work of remembering that we stand on the shoulders of others who paved the path on which we walk and blessed us with advantages we did not earn all on our own. May these memories of those who came before inspire us to pass on a better world to those who come after us. May they light our way. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn 346. Come sing a song with me. And now is our time for a message for all ages. Kids and young at heart are invited to come closer for a story. Once there was, and once there was not, a family of dogs. Like many dog families, there were dogs that had wandered off the street, and dogs with fine pedigrees, and dogs from the shelter, and dogs who had been born into the family. They ran together, they played together. They tumbled together in great furry masses of tails and snouts and paws. They loved each other very much, even if sometimes they growled at one another, even if sometimes they worried about enough biscuits from the tin on the counter, even if some dog didn't feel good and snapped at another dog. They loved each other very much. Each night, as the moon rose, the family of dogs went outside and sat in a great circle on the soft grass and watched the moon rise and looked into each other's eyes and wagged their tails. It was a doggy thing to do. Then, when the moon was a dog's tail above the horizon, the eldest dog would bay loudly at the moon. What do you think that dog was baying about? The eldest dog was telling other dogs and the moon and the whole world what he was thankful for. He was baying, "Thank you for this day, for the running and the jumping. Thank you for the biscuits and the tasty treats. Thank you, little brown dog, for nosing the ball my way. Thanks for being able to sing. Thanks for this and everything." Then the youngest dog would point her nose to the moon and begin to bay. She was saying, "Thank you, wonderful sun that warmed my back. Thank you, fragrant flowers so sweet. Thank you, pack of dogs, for wiggly dances. Thanks for ringing ice cream truck. Thanks for this and all my luck." Then one dog after another would join the baying, saying their thanks until they were singing together and to the moon. And they saved the best for last and howled together, "Thank you, parents. Thank you, siblings. Thank you, neighbor. Thank you, friend. Thank you, stranger. And thank you, world. We share our thanks for every being, whether near or far, no matter who, no matter where, no matter what you are. Thanks." They did this no matter what the weather, no matter how many or how few of the family was home, no matter how they felt. The dog family gathered together each and every night to greet the moon and share their thanks. Let's share their circle of gratitude. And you guys get to be the kids. Repeat after me. Thank you, parents.
Thank you, parents.
Thank you, siblings.
Thank you, siblings.
Thank you, neighbor.
Thank you, neighbor.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you, stranger.
Thank you, stranger.
Thank you, world.
Thank you, world.
We share our thanks for every being, whether near or far. No matter who, no matter where, no matter what you are. Thanks. And now it's time to light the children's chalice. Sunny,
Okay,
little Sunny.
I'll be the child. Okay, let's say together the words in your order of service. This is our chalice of love and of light, uniting you use by day and by night. And we will sing No One to their class.
You now into a time of quiet reflection. Spirit of generosity, we come to you with hearts overflowing with gratitude for your abundant creation. As we awaken each morning, help us to remember this day is a gift, this breath is a grace, this life a wonder. Remind us with every flower we see, every act of kindness, every moment of connection to something so much bigger than ourselves, to whisper thank you. Cultivate in us a sense of awe and trust in your lavish grace. Let each word of thanks we offer expand our hearts until delight inhabits us, and we know love as our sustenance. Blessed be.
Our first reading today is On Joy and Sorrow by Khalil Gibran. Then a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the selfsame well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at standstill and balanced. When the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall. And now please rise and body your spirit for hymn number 1002 in the teal hymnal, Comfort Me.
Our second reading is Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself, arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread. Give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored, for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
Each week we pass two baskets, one for this faith community and the other is for the larger community. Our second offering for November recognizes the inherent dignity and worth of all people, especially those who seek a better life in the United States. Our second offering recipient for November is Opening Doors International Services, or ODIS. ODIS is a Denton nonprofit organization that offers immigration assistance to families and individuals in North Texas and beyond. ODIS provides legal advice, case prep, and filing and representation before the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. With us today is the Executive Director of ODIS, Senor Andres Pacheco, to tell us about the work of ODIS. Senor Pacheco shared with me that he is a citizen of 3 countries, his native Venezuela, Chile, his mother's native country, and the United States, where he has lived for about 2/3 of his life. Please welcome Senor Pacheco.
Thank you. There's a lot of lately meetings, and they always have like an icebreaker and like interesting tidbits about yourself or whatever. That's why I wanted to emulate that. And anyway, well, our organization is the only immigration legal agency in Denton County and really like in the north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is growing tremendously. So we have a growing client base. We started in 2003 and at Trinity Presbyterian Church in Denton, and we've been there since. It's interesting how we started because it's very appropriate to the moment now, which was one of the members of the congregation was a Mexican national permanent resident for a while, and then so he decided, well, I should become a citizen, and then so he said, well, this is just paperwork. Okay, that was a bad mistake because the paperwork, if it's not correct or if there is a slight error, that could lead to people eventually being deported, or because the government would say that they're liars, that they checked their own box. And that's what happened to this individual. So the whole congregation went on and tried to fix the problem, save him. He was taken, to detention, and so they mobilized. And eventually, when he was like boarding the deportation bus, they were able to, take him away from that and bring him back to safety. And eventually, he became a U.S. citizen. So at the time, then they realized that there was nothing around here to help. And so they had just renovated the church and they had extra money. So they got together with people in Catholic Charities and an organization nationwide called Clinic, which helps small nonprofits with immigration legal services stuff. And then they founded ODIS. So that's the origin of it. And it's very appropriate that that was their founding, because that's pretty much almost like what's happening now. A lot of people are in fear of deportation. A lot of people are picked up when they go to regular appointments. And so it's terrible, And we try to address this in an effective manner to the degree of our possibilities. We're pretty small, but we provide pro bono and low bono immigration legal services to vulnerable immigrants. And the way we define vulnerable is, that's just like a loose term, but it's really, combining the household income level with the the level of risk of deportation because they don't have a proper legal status. But we're open to everyone, so we don't, people walk in the door and we help them, okay? The only issue is that if we don't have enough financial resources, we have to charge, you know, that's what we do. And so there's other changes that have occurred over the 20 plus years that we've been in existence, and I think they kind of tuned us more to the community that we serve. One of them is, like, you know, as far as the diversity in the organization itself, and we have a majority of women in the board and in the staff, and also a very large representation of immigrant people and children of immigrants. Like, all of our staff are immigrants or children of immigrants, and even more, the children of immigrants are first-generation college graduates. And in the board, we even have people from Africa. We don't have too many people from Africa around, but you know, we have one guy from Africa and a few from Latin America. So it's more diverse, and we're very happy about that. By the way, we're recruiting board members, and so hopefully we'll get a board member out of this group. We don't want a big board, but it's always good to have, you know, I mean, some people have retired or gone away, so we need other people. Finally, I wanted to also mention something that I consider very important. You know, I mentioned that we don't have, we're pretty small, so we rely a lot on the work of volunteers. And thanks to a board member, one that's just retiring, we were able to hook up with this system that most universities use for careers and so forth. And through that, we started to get a lot of college students, and actually a lot of first-generation college students from immigrant families. And so we were extremely happy, and a lot of them bilingual with Spanish. And so then, you know, that became, it's so great working with volunteers of that, you know, of that kind, because they're all very motivated. I mean, for me, it's a pleasure. I don't have to give pep talks or anything. I just basically draw energy from them. And you know, in return, they help their community, and they learn from our trade, which is something that you don't learn in college. And this is a very good skill, helping people with immigration legal paperwork. So, you know, quite a few of our students have gone, of our volunteers have gone on to, when they graduate and they get work as paralegal, or they go on to law school. And anyway, in any case, they get a lot more connected with the problems and the tribulations of immigrants in this country. And that's like an extra mission. It's like a cherry on the top, because, I mean, we exist to serve immigrants, but at the same time, you know, we're providing this like emotional development and, you know, empathy awareness to the youth, and that's very rewarding too. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Senor Pacheco, for sharing us the good work that Otis is providing to immigrants in our region. One of the fundamental values of Unitarian Universalism is generosity. Our weekly offering, through that, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Please see the chat or the order of service for ways to give. The offering is now gratefully received.
sono solo sogni all'orizzonte, mancan le parole. E lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra il tutto mio cuore che hai acceso, chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. I see che non ho mai vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, però non esistono più. It's time to say goodbye. Quando sei lontana sogna l'orizzonte e mancano le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu sei sì con me. Mio sole, tu sei chi con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. I see che non ho mai vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. Con te io li rivivrò, con te partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. Con te io li rivivrò, con te partirò. You I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and by this we live.
I have the easy part. I don't have to hit high notes in Italian. Wow. Wow. This will be different. This is personal. I've been coming to DOOF pretty regularly for over a year. I was first drawn in by Jeff's extraordinarily friendly welcome. He not only made me smile, he made me laugh before I even got through the door. Thank you for that, Jeff. The next thing I really, really liked was that you didn't single out visitors by making them raise their hands or stand up. As a card-carrying introvert, I've always hated that. Thank you for not targeting me and the other introverts here. We're here, we're shy, we're uncomfortable. I am a straight, white, single woman, a mother and a grandmother. I'm retired. If you ask my 11-year-old grandson, I am elderly. I was raised in a church where everyone pretty much looked the same. Similar clothes, similar backgrounds, similar incomes, same beliefs. The only real variety was in the dishes brought to the requisite church potlucks. There was comfort in those similarities. The connections were so visible. In the year or so I've been coming to Doof, I've seen a community where we embrace connections that at first glance may not be obvious. We are a community, regardless of which boxes you check or don't check. We're all connected, like roots, nourishing the whole in ways both seen and unseen. This is a safe place. I was invited to share my story today because I wrote and published a book called Tools in the Flower Pot. It's available on Amazon, but I've also put a couple of copies in the library next door. Tools in the Flower Pot is a memoir of how I navigated grief after the losses of my mother, my husband, and my closest friend, all within a span of 3 years. These people were significant, and their losses were cataclysmic. A little background on these loved ones of mine. I was one of those lucky kids who had a great mom. Not everyone is as fortunate. Mom came from an abusive background, but through her staunch faith and relentless heart, she broke that cycle. She loved her children unconditionally, nurtured us, read to us, and yes, she baked us cupcakes. Her love was unconditional and her faith unwavering. She was my rock. When she died after a brief illness, I had my husband Rob to lean on. Rob came into my life after a long and turbulent first marriage. He was a heavy equipment operator who remained calm no matter what was going on. He was playful, funny, and he could fix anything. He was a husband and father who loved his family deeply and made certain we knew it. Rob was an absolute gift to me in the middle years of my life. We had just 2 happy, loving years before he was diagnosed with cancer. He had surgery, did chemo and radiation, recovered, and went back to work. The protocols say to get checked every 6 months, and after 5 years, you're considered in the clear. Rob got cancer again after 4.5 years. My warrior husband battled for another 1.5 years before his body finally gave out and he died. My friend Julie was funny and irreverent and a self-proclaimed rock star. She lived her life big. Julie sat with me throughout Rob's illness, sat with my sadness, and just listened. She had a way of using humor to make me laugh through my tears. She was present. And her support never wavered, even when she was diagnosed with breast cancer and then had her own battles to fight. When Rob died, she didn't send flowers or bring over a casserole. She brought me handkerchiefs, the perfect gift for her grieving friend. Grief knocks you down for a long time. It's like a tsunami that rises up from your core and knocks you sideways. It's overwhelming, and it sneaks up on you. Going from wife to widow is chaotic. your life blows up and you find yourself floating amongst the debris. One of the first things that floated towards me was regret. I started thinking of all the things I didn't do, or did wrong, or could have done better. I made a conscious decision to let regret float by and not cling to it. Regret would only make things worse. Grief is personal, and everyone's experience is different. Most will agree that grief never leaves completely. We just gradually get used to the weight of it. Grief is the absolute contradiction to unfettered joy. Our separation from love, our separation from a sense of wholeness. Grief is the ultimate expression of our humanity. One of the ways I dealt with grief was by writing. Within weeks of Rob's death, I began to journal. I needed to pour out everything I was experiencing because it was too much to hold inside my body. I poured out tears, I poured out anger, I poured out the chaos. I filled page after page of journals. I also attended a grief support group. The hospital and mortuary provided me with a list of resources, so I picked one and started showing up every Saturday. I kept going as long as it was helping me, but after a while I felt stuck in a whirlpool of sadness, and I decided to get out. Next, I found an online group called Late Night Widows and Widowers. Here were people who were experiencing the same loss. We shared stories and welcomed each new member with gentle words. It was lovely. Reading other people's stories made me realize how many were dealing with situations much worse than mine. Suicides, long years of caretaking, financial insecurity compounding their loss, small children and babies to raise on top of their grief. This online group was available whenever I needed it, especially when I couldn't sleep. Hearing stories from others who were widowed, witnessing their kindness, and offering supportive words brought me perspective on what I had to be grateful for. Whenever I was alone, the tears would fall as I thought about how much I missed Rob. I missed our life together before he got sick. I missed him so much, but I was grateful for what we had together, and I was grateful for him and his love. So now, when I found myself hurting and missing and mourning him, I would lay a prayer of gratitude over it. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the years we had together. Thank you for sharing all you were with me. I'm so grateful for you. Each time the tears fell, I would lay gratitude on top of them. It was the beginning of accepting what had happened. Gratitude is where healing begins. Along with my journaling, I began to meditate. My brain held so much noise, fog, chaos, and darkness. Meditating calmed it all down. I listened to guided meditations at first, and then gradually began doing my own. I learned how to sit in stillness and quiet all the noise in my head. I was no longer a wife, half of a couple, part of a marriage. I was in a new club, a club no one wants to be in. But I was relieved and grateful that Rob was no longer suffering. I was grateful for the caring friends who supported me. And then Julie died, and I was done. Just done. I felt like my life was all about saying goodbye to people I loved. That's what I did now. I say goodbye. Who's next? I wondered. Before she died, Julie told me about this labyrinth that was near her house. It was a tranquil place, and she liked to go there and walk the pathway. I was desperate for any semblance of peace, so I made a point of going there a few months after she died. It was set in a beautiful garden. A sign near the starting point gave instructions to quiet your mind and focus on a problem or a prayer. I simply asked the universe for guidance. As I silently walked the path, winding towards the center, not thinking, just listening. Finally, these words were given to me. You are not your losses. You are pure love. I'm not my losses. Losses happened to me, but they did not define me. I am pure love. At my core, what lovely healing words. On the second anniversary of Rob's death, I wrote this. In giving yourself over to grief and anguish, you empty and refill as a changed person. Would we change otherwise, if not irrevocably forced to? Grief to me is wrapped in unending grace, and from that cocoon of grace comes indescribable growth. Know this, love doesn't die, love transforms. Live and love and be human. Be fearless and audacious. Love without expecting anything in return, and just for the pure joy of it. Above all, love yourself, truly, deeply, with humor and compassion. You are an amazing creation. I continue to journal and meditate. Both these things take practice, and I sometimes struggle to be consistent. It took a long time, but eventually I was able to sift 6 years of journals into a 150-page book. Writing that book and turning it loose on the world was quite cathartic and brought a measure of closure. It took a couple of years to finish because I'd be on a writing streak and then just have to stop and shove it all in a drawer for a while. It wasn't writer's block. I had inadvertently poked at something that hurt and needed patience and time to fully understand. After one long break, which was leading up to my and Rob's wedding anniversary, I realized that while I had let go of the happy marriage and my identity as a wife and what I thought my life was going to look like, I now had to let go of the version of me that experienced all of that. I wasn't that Donna anymore. A new Donna had grown in her place. Releasing the past and my past self was not easy. I held on to it because it was familiar, which is a very human response to the lack of control that accompanies grief. Over time, I did manage to let go of that version of myself who experienced so much loss. I marveled at how she got through it, at how she bore it. I know that she is a part of the version of me that I am now. I'm grateful I got through it and grateful to share my story with others who are walking that path now. What have I learned since finishing the book? Losing my mother, losing my husband, losing my dear friend left me in a dark place. Sitting alone in my grief, I began seeing that I saw myself How I knew myself was largely through the lens of relationship. I was a daughter. I was a wife. I was a friend. I saw myself embodied by my relationships. In grief, in the darkness, I met myself. Just me. Someone not defined by her relationships and also not defined by her losses. There's a great comfort in that. I have the opportunity to live my life through a new lens, and there's a purity in that. I read a quote recently that said, "When you stop resisting solitude, you discover that what you thought was loneliness is actually your own presence waiting to be met." Tools in the Flower Pot ends with these words. Of the many tools I've acquired and used, the power of gratitude cannot be overstated. I pour gratitude over everything I've experienced with these precious people whom I have loved. I pour it over the pain of their loss, for that pain is evidence of love's power. I pour gratitude on the many questions for which I don't yet have answers. I am grateful for the spaces of not knowing, and I trust I'll find the answers in good time. These life-shattering events, fierce in their brutality, create at first the cruelest of voids, then gradually a space, and ultimately a place for new versions of ourselves and our lives to grow and play out. Grief transforms you, violently at first, then powerfully, and then spectacularly. Gratitude. Pour gratitude on everything. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1015, I Know I Can.
Though days be dark with storms, and burdens weigh my heart, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. Though sorrow heals my soul, and burdens make me strong, though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on. Though the journey is long, the destination is near. Though troubles wait at every turn, I know I can go on.
Will you join me in unison in the unison words for extinguishing the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. We carry in our hearts until we are together again. We leave carrying gifts from those who came before and responsibilities to those who follow. May your appreciation for inherited blessings inspire choices that future generations will thank you for. Go forth as both grateful recipient and generous ancestor. Please stay for the budget meeting if you're able.